There we go now, yeah.
Right, grand. I'll be quick with this anyway. Yeah, so I was trying to defend in wide areas, like I was saying earlier on, kind of in a low block shape. Our girls 19s played Cove or Cork, should I say, a couple of weeks previous to this. And the one thing, just kind of why I wanted to share this as well, like, in my opinion, you can agree, disagree, or whatever. The setup area session detail to me is fine, but after that, I just went on a mad one here. I think I don't know what I was thinking. I went a little bit too long with it. Like that's way too text heavy. In my honest opinion, if I'm being totally critical of myself. So yeah, I was trying to find defending wide areas. Set out the session was fine. I had the wide areas and stuff marked out, and the corners here as well. The one thing that I'll just stop sharing there, boys. Sorry, and I don't need to go much more on that. The one thing that I think I struggled with, like I was saying actually earlier on in your one, Brian, the one thing I thought I struggled with was coaching position. So at the very start, of the session, you'll see it in the huddle clip there anyway. I started on the left, said the defender's left hand side of the pitch, and came right across to the right hand side to make a coaching point. But you can see it as I can kind of see the coaching point coming because it happened maybe twice before in the first 4 minutes. It kind of got down that side a little bit easy, and the gaps were a little bit too big. And the angle of her right wing back, when she was pressing the speed, the angle of her press were, rather than pressing from in to out, she was almost pressing from out to in. So she was showing the attacker inside and was just leaving a massive big gap between her and the right side centre back. And the 6 then wasn't cutting that space and plugging that gap. But you can see when I'm walking across the pitch to make that coaching point, I'm literally walking across in front of, like, between the midfield line and the back line. It's just, looking back at it myself, I thought it was madness on my part. I just rushed blood to the head or whatever. I kind of should have went around and made that point or stopped it and then moved. But as the session was going, I was just bowling through it. Other than that, thought my orientation was okay. I think, in my honest opinion, again, as usual, being a little bit critical of myself, I thought I went on about 30 seconds too long. I think I went into a little bit too much detail for the type of session it actually was, because it might be a thing that, look, I've coached the girls loads of times before. I've done similar sessions to that. I don't think I needed to go into as much detail, but maybe it was just conditions on the night. I had 2 sessions to do. I was kind of stressing myself out more than anything. But the first 3 minutes, Micheál, was actually the first thing you said to me when I came back off it. You were like, we could barely hear you for the first, like, 2-3 minutes, however long it was for the first session. He goes, but after that, you were fine, we could hear you. Normally, like Brian and Gary had known that, seen me coach a few times before. Normally, I might be the only person you hear on the pitch when I'm putting the session on.
Yeah.
That's,
No, you are, yeah.
you know, that's something that, look, I probably need to work on as well, because sometimes, even lately, sometimes I'm a little bit too quiet in sessions where I think all players are getting it. I don't need to do too much. Whereas other sessions, then I'm too loud, and then the players are not getting as much out of it. I'm too over the top of the information and not as much stopping it, but coaching the flow and stuff like that. I thought the stops were okay. There was one of the stops, Micheál actually pointed out to me as well. If I remember correctly, it was 1 minute and 47 seconds, I think it was. Far too long. Even for the coaching point, it was 45 to 60 seconds max is what I needed. I just kept going. I kind of went over the top with detail. Maybe the level of the player, because that was actually a 17th player playing up. Luckily, she was obviously playing on the day from the video as well. Maybe I finally that got into my head and I tried to give her too much detail. I don't know, but I thought the debrief then was fine. Rather than just putting it to the group, how do you think it went? I kind of tried to pick out individuals and be like, right, what was the objective? What did you and try to almost get feedback from them in the debrief and then give them feedback on top of their feedback, if that makes any sense. I thought timing was okay. I think Ross said to me I was 2 minutes short of the time. I think I can't remember. I know I was short of it anyway. I finished in good time. So look, other than those few little bits, I thought I'd done okay. Definitely nowhere near my best. But look, that's what we're all here for. We're all here to learn, get better, get feedback, and continue growing, I suppose.
Yeah, I thought you were very good at demonstrating when you did make stops. I thought it was really impressive, like your body shape, everything that you were doing, and it was simple, like, or they understood it. The position, I think everyone's getting caught out in position, like it's where is the right place to stand, like, as the ball moves. So I suppose sometimes if you think that you're saying too little in one session and too much in another session, sometimes maybe someone just needs to give you a shout and say, "Hey, Kyle, shut up," or
Yeah.
talk louder. Like, we all need fucking help. Like, there's none of us get everything right, but I thought I was very impressed with the way you demonstrated when you did make the stop.
I'd second that as well. Yeah, your demonstrations were very good. They were short, concise, you had the ball rolling, and you basically established the problem and solved it with that. I thought, yeah. So I thought that was a big plus.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be overly critical on the other stuff. You've identified that, but like the demonstration was good. All right, yeah.
I think also, Kyle, something that I took from it anyway was you were very good at talking to the players on the opposition pitch every time you went in. So if you did go into a player on the near side of the pitch, you were actually getting the point across to the player on the far side of the pitch as well.
Yeah.
And you were nice and vocal doing that, so they weren't just tuned out. It wasn't just the player. You were actually coaching. You were getting everybody involved in it.
Yeah. There's something I've tried to work on actually since my C license. It was Will Doyle as well actually told me. He said you coach on the ball, around the ball, and away from the ball, so you're actually affecting everybody that's in the session. And it's just something that stuck with me since. And I try. Obviously, I don't get it right every night. If I got it right every night, I'd be manager of Barcelona or something. It's just something that stuck with me. I try to get it in any session I'm doing. I try to affect every single player that's in the session, whether it's passing activation or rondo, transition game. Just trying the best to affect as much people.
There's a double side to that though as well. You were saying a minute ago that you stopped it for, you think you made one stop for a minute and a half. So I suppose when you are going on, around and away, it's depending on the thing, how much you need to go into it to affect the other players as well. It could be a case where I might need to affect them now for this one. So look, it's a learning curve for everybody. It is, and if we look back at it all again, we'd have another 10 things to talk about,
So sometimes, especially with girls, you could be telling them something, and when they're looking at you that they haven't fucking clue what you're saying to them. So some stops will run a little bit longer, like.
Absolutely.
I understand that. Yeah.
I wouldn't be over critical. You're a bit harsh on yourself, Kyle. I think it was
I think so too. It was a very good session.
Very good.
Thanks very much. That's just me. Good is never good enough.